At the moment, there is no officially declared war between the United States of America and Iran. But history shows us this. Most of the greatest wars began at moments exactly like this. No one declared war. No one openly took responsibility for the first shot. Yet the world entered an irreversible process without even realizing it. Today, everyone is asking the same question. Is a war really coming between the United States and Iran? Or is this just a temporary crisis? The truth is, what we are experiencing right now is neither peace nor war. This is a pre-war silence, and these periods have always been the most dangerous moments in history. Looking at the situation on the ground, neither country is currently at war with the other. However, harsh statements, military preparations, base movements, and mutual threats are clearly visible. And this tells us one thing. The sides may not want war, but the possibility of war is no longer a distant scenario. So why are we at such a dangerous point? Because this tension does not concern only the United States and Iran. Iran has influence over many armed groups in the Middle East. The United States, on the other hand, maintains large military forces across the region. When allies, rivals, and energy routes are added to this equation, an extremely fragile balance emerges. In crises like this, the real danger is not a planned attack. The real danger is miscalculation. A single missile, a single act of sabotage, or a single act of retaliation can push events beyond control. If a war does break out, it will most likely not begin in a conventional way. Tanks will not cross borders. We may not see headlines saying war has been declared on television. The more likely scenario is this. First, a limited strike occurs. Then comes a response. Then retaliation follows. And at some point, even the sides involved can no longer stop the process. Wars often begin like this, quietly, slowly, but with devastating consequences. So let's say this tension truly turns into war. What happens then? The first impact would be felt in the Middle East. Military bases would become targets. Missile attacks would increase. Civilian security would be placed under serious threat. But the war would not stay there. Energy prices would rise rapidly. Oil and natural gas crises would emerge. Inflation would surge again on a global scale. Markets would be shaken. In other words, even countries not on the battlefield would pay the price of this war. However, the most frightening scenario is one that many people overlook. What if war is never officially declared? What if this tension turns into a hidden war that lasts for years? Cyber attacks, infrastructure sabotage, assassinations, crises carried out through energy. And what if people only realize how much the world has changed when it is already too late? History shows us this very clearly. Some wars are not won with bombs, but with instability. So despite all this, can war still be avoided? Yes, this is still possible. The sides know the cost of war very well. Diplomacy has not completely collapsed. The possibility of stepping back is still on the table. But that is exactly why we are at a critical point right now, because sometimes the most dangerous moments are the ones when war has not yet begun. Right now, the world is holding its breath. We are watching to see which direction history will take. So, what do you think will happen? Will this tension turn into a real war, or will everyone step back at the last moment? Write your thoughts in the comments, because the outcome of this story concerns not just two countries, but the entire world.